Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Happy 12th of June to you. Busy morning. And let's get right to the newsroom and check with a traffic update and incident in the Upper Keys. AJ, what's happening there, please?
It's actually over on the mainland, not in the Keys, but it is just south of Florida City. It is southbound on the South Dixie Highway, mile marker 123. This is a major accident involving hazardous materials. All lanes on the southbound side are closed, and that is causing some major delays coming out of Florida City, almost 45 minutes to be exact at this point.
Thank you for that update, AJ. From the newsroom, we'll keep you updated on all of those happenings. Of course, Keys Talk 102.5 and 96.9 carries you all the way up into the mainland, so we will keep you informed as you're listening, trying to come down into the Keys. And, of course, traffic northbound not necessarily affected, but the World Cup series will be commencing here, causing a lot of slowdowns throughout Miami. So we're going to get closer to home now, speak to Thomas Sweets. He's the executive director of the Key West Wildlife Center. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for being here. If only we were all birds, we could just fly over all this traffic we've been talking about. That would be helpful. But let's talk about the Key West Wildlife Center in terms of those birds who cannot yet fly. It is baby bird season. And if you go to the keywestwildlifecenter.org, you'll see seasonal bird tips. You go to that tab, and there's some very helpful information about what to do when you find a baby bird. A lot of people are still confused about this. So can you help illuminate us on this important topic?
Oh, sure. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's been the majority of our calls are, it's baby bird season. We're heavily into spring, summer season. And these birds, the nests are made, and then the eggs are laid. And then a little time later, the little birds hatch, and we're talking, all types of different birds: songbirds, the northern mockingbirds, the grackles, doves, white-crowned pigeons, mourning doves, the ground doves, white-winged doves. So these birds spend some time in the nest, but once they're pretty much fully feathered, once they're covered with feathers, they will leave the nest and they will be on the ground. And a lot of people think that they've fallen out of the nest, and that is just not the case. It does happen occasionally. Maybe we've had, a storm or some heavy winds, or, sometimes little tiny babies do fall out of the nest, but you would be able to recognize that they're not feathered. They're little fuzzy things, sometimes pink or gray. They don't really have any feathers other than just some fuzz. And if they're tiny, if they're tiny where they can fit in the palm of your hand, that may require, some help for these little guys. But once the birds are about as big as the palm of your hand or a little bigger, and they're fully feathered, they are supposed to be on the ground. Now, the songbirds, you'll know they're around because they'll be squawking and hopping around on the ground, and the parents will be up above them, following them around, keeping an eye on them, trying to feed them. So, if you've ever been dive bombed by a northern mockingbird or a grackle, that's what they're doing, is they're trying to protect their young. So they'll be pretty loud, and you can see those. But the doves and the pigeons, you're not gonna. Their job is just to get on the ground and sort of remain quiet and camouflaged, and they're really not even going to move a lot of the times. And, sometimes these birds will come down in a bad area, maybe on a road, or we'll have some white-crowned pigeons that come down on Duval Street. And some of these birds may need some help, but really all they need is just to be moved to a spot that's a little safer than just the middle of the street. They're going to be camouflaged, and the parents will still be looking out for them. You will see the songbird parents all the time flying around watching over the babies, but the doves and the pigeons, the parents will be off most of the day gathering up seeds, and then they will come back once or twice a day and feed the babies. They'll call. How they find the babies is they call, and the babies respond. So they go to them, and then sometimes people think that when the doves or pigeons are feeding their babies, they're being attacked too, because it can look a little violent. The parent is putting the head down the throat of the baby and regurgitating seeds, and sometimes that can look like, he's pecking at the baby or something, but they're not. So the biggest thing right now is we've had so many calls. Some days we've had 15 calls in an hour, 20, 30 calls a day about baby birds on the ground. And, we do have a chart available, like you mentioned, on our social media, on our website, that explains when a baby bird needs help and when it doesn't. Now, most of them are not going to need help. Most of them are going to spend a period of a few days on the ground. They'll be taking short flights and then they will be on their own. So most of them don't need help, and we're always happy. What we do is we ask people to take pictures of them, and then we get the pictures texted, and then we can get a much better idea of the body language and if the bird is really old enough to be on the ground, if it's fully feathered. And, a lot of times it just can require just moving them from one spot to another if they're in a bad place. That's really the majority of what we would want to do. A lot of people will grab the birds and, take them inside, which is not good for them either, because the air conditioning they're supposed to be warm and outside, so the air conditioning can affect them. Also, people will try to feed them, which is that's not going to really help them at all. These birds eat very specific diets, and the parents provide it. So when people start feeding them, we've had people feeding them milk, and we've had them, feeding them hot dogs and things like that. And it's just not going to be good for the bird. It usually doesn't end well. And these birds' best chance is to be under the care of the parents. The parents just need to be able to finish the job. So I guess the message I'd really want to get across, the simple message is, just because there's a baby bird on the ground, that there doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. I'd say, 80-90% of the calls we take, these birds are okay and they're being cared for by the parents. And like I said, sometimes we do need to intervene, but that's a very small percentage of the calls we get. And that little chart about what to do, I found a baby bird, that can really help you out too. Because once they leave the nest, that's the other thing, is people think they've fallen and they need to go back to the nest. But even if you put them back in the nest, they're just going to leave, because in the wild, there are predators that target the nest. So it's a dangerous place to be. There's snakes, there's other animals that can target the nest. So they try to get out of the nest as soon as they can. Now, people might say, the ground is not that much better, but it is, because there's more places to hide on the ground than to be, the target of the nest in a tree. So, but again, in Key West, everybody's on top of everybody here. There's a lot of development everywhere. So sometimes they do end up coming down, in an area where they're exposed on a road or, something like that. And really all that requires is just moving them to a safer area. So yeah, that's our big thing right now, is the baby birds. We're getting so many calls about them, and we're happy to answer people's questions, but we do want to get the message out that just because there's a baby bird on the ground doesn't mean there's anything wrong necessarily.
Yes. Thomas Sweets, Key West Wildlife Center, with us. And that phone number to call should you have concerns is what again? Is it 305-292-1008?
Yeah, you got it. Yes, That's our 24-hour rescue hotline, and it is answered by a live person. And a lot of times in these situations, it's very helpful, this technology that we have, because years ago we wouldn't have been able to have people texting us pictures of the birds, and that has really helped us sort things out, because we can see in a moment, what the situation is with the birds. So that's helped us out a lot with the baby birds. But the biggest thing is just, people get so worried about them. And, it is an awkward time when they're leaving the nest and when they're just learning to fly, but it is something that they all have to go through. And if we can keep them with the parents, that guarantees them a successful life. Anytime you're going to be taking them away from the parents, it's going to be more difficult, to raise a healthy bird and to make sure that bird is going to be wild and not imprinted upon people, which can get them into all kinds of trouble.
That's an important point as well. KeyWestWildlifeCenter.org. Speaking with Thomas Sweets, Executive Director of Key West Wildlife Center, which does provide all kinds of rescues all year long. And the mission is to ensure the future of our diverse nature wildlife by providing timely rescues and quality rehabilitation with the hope of release back to the wild. So not only are the baby birds keeping you busy, but over 1,400 rescues every year occur as performed by the Key West Wildlife Center. Those continue, including a couple of stories you were starting to tell me about, heron rescue, white pelican rescue, a couple of others.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot. Recently, we got a red rat snake on Big Pine Key that had gotten tangled up in some silver duct tape, and he was, getting the tape and the adhesive was starting to tear his skin. So we were able to get that snake, carefully remove the tape and the adhesive, and then he's already been released back in his home territory on Big Pine. We had a Florida box turtle crossing the road on Casa Marina Court that a waste management driver grabbed, and we were able to determine which way the turtle was traveling, and because that is a big thing. If you put a turtle down the opposite way, they're just going to turn around and cross the road again. So we
thank you for
that.
Thomas. I was just going to ask that. I did the same thing over near the golf course visiting a friend the other day, and it is the dilemma which direction. And I decided to put him in the direction he was going, but he had a big curb to come over, and he couldn't get over the curb, so I just kept him in that direction. So
and that's exactly what to do, because they're very determined about the direction they're traveling, and if you turn them around, if you put them on the opposite side, they're just most likely going to cross again. So yes, we got that turtle into a native. I mean, it was a good spot just because he was sort of crossing between two green spaces, but we got him over into the park by Higgs Beach, and he seemed to be doing fine. Herons, we had a lot of herons. We had a great blue heron down, weak and emaciated, underweight at Sigsbee Charter School, and we just were able to return that bird to the wild yesterday. We've had a couple great white herons, and both one was a fishing line entanglement, the other one was another weak, underweight bird, and we just got one of those two released. We just had two magnificent frigate birds. One was rescued by Sunset Water Sports down in offshore waters just outside of Sigsbee Naval Air Station. That bird, they were able to jet ski it in, and we got it. And thankfully, they had removed the fishing line, and the bird was not injured. So we just were able to return two magnificent frigate birds to the wild yesterday. The other one was rescued down on a road on Big Pine Key. Could have been maybe an impact or something that brought the bird down. But again, neither one had to spend terribly much time with us. We flight tested them in our little flight aviary, and they were ready to go. So they've been released. A couple of American white pelicans. One, the Mayor Henriquez helped us rescue down at the boat ramp at Eco Discovery Center at the Truman Waterfront boat ramp. That bird had an amazing high parasite count. And then the other one was rescued, I believe, on Ramrod, and it just had a puncture wound in its chest. We had that one, and we've still got one more that is still receiving care that's left the clinic and is out in the aviary. So, yeah, we've been really trying to get a bunch of birds released lately because we had so many. We were getting filled up, but it worked out well because we've got, usually this time of year would be a little quieter with the larger birds, and it would all be baby birds, but we've actually had a lot of different rescues going on. So yes, busy as always here at the center, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure many people didn't realize you also do rescue and rehabilitate some reptiles and the like when needed. So that's good to know as well. But it is really heartwarming to see the videos on your website and on social media of the releases as those birds make their way back into the wild, and that's the ultimate goal.
Well, and that's always the best part of the job, is getting them back. Because when they're coming into us or we're getting them rescued, they're already usually compromised in some way, injured, sick, underweight, parasite filled. So when we can actually get them back and get them back released back to the wild, then that's really our goal. So that's always it's always the best feeling. So yes, we appreciate that.
Well, indeed. Go to the website, KeyWestWildlifeCenter.org, to find out how you can help the Key West Wildlife Center in all its endeavors to rehabilitate and eventually, hopefully, return to the wild many of these, injured and endangered species. Not necessarily endangered, but they are individually when they're injured like that. But you can
some
find
of them are, yes.
Yeah,
yes, you're right.
Right. So you can donate there, a very worthwhile cause that needs your help. And also read up on all the latest events and happenings at the Key West Wildlife Center, or visit as well, open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday through Sunday as well.
That's correct. That is correct. So we're getting ready to get open today. And like I said, if anybody needs any advice about baby birds, give us a call on that 24-hour hotline at 292-1008, and we can try to get that all sorted out for you.
Very good. Thomas, anything else we should mention before we let you go today?
No, but thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity of coming on your show and being able to talk to the public again. We thank the public for the support. We couldn't do it without them. They helped us build this new facility that's now over a year old, and we've got it up and running, and we're always looking for support. We need to keep this place up and running and in fine shape, and we thank the community for allowing us to do that and for allowing us to continue to rescue wildlife from mile marker 0 to 33.
Yes, sir. Thank you for all that you do, sir, in all of the efforts of the Key West Wildlife Center. We will talk to you again soon. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it, and you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye now. Thomas Sweets with us, Executive Director, Key West Wildlife Center. On Good Morning Keys, we return with more Good Morning Keys in a moment.
Are you frustrated by weight gain even though you constantly diet? Do you have low energy or always feel tired? It could be hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalances, especially as we age, can be the cause of depression, weight gain, mood swings, decreased libido, and many other chronic conditions. At Keys Med Spa, we have helped thousands of women and men regain their hormonal balance with BioT, bioidentical hormone optimization therapy, and the results are life-changing. Keys Med Spa BioT hormone therapy is safe, effective, painless, and affordable. And the big difference at Keys Med Spa, this is all overseen by renowned Dr. Peterson, who has had a medical practice in the Keys for over 27 years. Cool sculpting, Botox, skin treatments, BioT hormone therapy, and more. Dr. Peterson and his team are here to help you maintain your youthful glow and vitality. To see if BioT hormone therapy is right for you, call Keys Med Spa today at 305-587-9183.
The Greenhouse. Have you been there yet? We even spell it with 3 E's to help you smile when you say it. That's our goal. We carry the largest selection of hemp-derived THC and CBD products in Monroe County. If you've been taking medication for anxiety, depression, inflammation, lack of sleep, or muscle and joint pain and it's just not working, or you don't like the side effects, we can help. If you're looking to chill, relax, escape, focus, or even break out into euphoric fits of laughter, we can help there too. No medical card is needed. You just have to be 21 or over. Our 3 locations are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. In Key West, we're at 431 Front Street, just in front of Mallory Square. In Marathon, you can find us at mile marker 52 at 10875 Overseas Highway. In Key Largo, we're at 99304 Overseas Highway in the middle of the road. Swing on by, share your goals with us, and we'll recommend a product to help you reach them. And we back our recommendations with a 100% money-back guarantee. The Greenhouse. Stop on by and find out what the buzz is all about today.
Visit one of the 12 locations of the Greenhouse, including 9 in the Keys and featuring their newest store at 3128 North Roosevelt, Key West.
Hey, Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar, listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town, Key West, or twofriends.com.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Thank you, AJ, for that traffic update. We'll continue to keep you posted on traffic conditions throughout the Keys. Of course, with our listeners up on the mainland, we cover all the way from Key West to Florida City and beyond into South Miami-Dade. So we will keep those folks informed as they're trying to get southbound. That sounds like quite a mess. We're going to say good morning to Liz Young, Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts. Good morning to you, Liz.
Hello, Michael. Good morning to you and your listeners.
Great to see you as well. And again, this show can be seen on Keys Living TV, channel 27, at 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock today. Also, worldwide Roku streaming and on an app from your app store for Keys Living TV, free download. So, Florida Keys Council of the Arts, celebrating arts and culture in the Florida Keys. We support, we connect, we give. Indeed, that is the case. So we have a June deadline for a couple of grants still.
We do. And I want to announce on top of our grants, the State of Florida Cultural Division, which, is our big mothership of grant giving across the state for arts and culture, just announced their grant round for fiscal year 28. So even though we don't know what our funding is for this coming July 1, because of all the things going on in Tallahassee, they did open applications. I encourage anybody listening that is running an arts organization, does arts programming, arts education, and even individual artists, please take a look at DOS grants, which is Department of State. grants.com and apply. Those grants will be due July 10th, and it is a big application. Do not wait. I've been doing it for 18 years. This is something that used to be due June 1st, and this year they announced it on June 1st
Oh
with
boy.
a very quick 6-week deadline. I attended their How to Apply workshop last week, which was extremely helpful. And they've posted it on their website also, so you can actually watch. I think it's about 40 minutes, but it walks you through the application. So I do want to encourage people, especially from Monroe County. You know, we do not have a big group of applicants that dive deep into that state grant, and there is hopefully going to be funding available. And then, of course, we've got, and it's called GPS, General Program Support. So you can apply for everything but like rent and travel. For your theater, for your museum, for your music programming, whatever you might have, you should really take a look at it. Our grants are super specific and way easier to apply for. You and I have discussed that a lot. I love to tell my artists and arts organizations that we support and we give. That's two of our words. We support by giving to artists and arts organizations living and working in Monroe County. That is our mission as an arts council, to have a very robust arts and culture community. We work with the Tourist Development Council, Visit Florida Keys daily to promote the destination for our, you know, diverse culture and our rich history and our vibrant arts community. And we do that by supporting artists who are working and living here.
Yeah,
So it
the
comes full circle.
Arts Build Community Grant, that deadline is coming up on June 30th here locally as well. Arts
Yes.
School grants coming up, special project grants as well. Those are all available with information and links on the website, which is keysarts.com.
Yes. And because our website is under construction right now and we're working on it tab by tab, my goal is the July 4th weekend, which I don't know, it's a little close now. I've been so busy.
Yeah,
My
it's a lofty
June has
goal.
just been so busy. People, we've got, you know, theater at the Fringe. We've got film festival around Ocean Fest was at Williams Hall. We had the big opening of Mango Madness at the studios. And every day when I think I'm going to get something more done on the website, it's like, no, Liz, you have to go here, there, and everywhere. So it's endless. Big Pride Week. Now we've got the Key Lime Festival coming up. We've got 250th big celebrations. The first one on the 27th, which is the Key West one, Truman Waterfront Park, which is literally around the corner. And I'm assisting people with their grant applications too. You know, we really love to support people turning in great applications. Do I have a minute to explain Art Builds Community?
Yes, yes, you do.
Okay, so I think you and I have discussed this before. This is our big grant. You can apply for a $10,000 project, $7,500 or $5,000 project. You apply by June 30. We have a grant panel in July. Recommendations are approved at our August 7th board meeting. So it's for, you know, the coming season. And you need to have a partner. So either an artist or an arts organization can apply with a partner to present a project that, you know, builds audiences and builds new audience. It's a broader new audience idea. So for instance, last year, the new Reef Education Center up in Key Largo partnered with the Business and Professional Women's Group up in Key Largo, BPW. And they made just fantastic programming with programming for kids and for women that were working, you know, sort of after hours to experience science and art. And it was just fantastic. And the art project was all about the ocean. And so it was, you know, age appropriate for people. And it really allowed people who are working with families to have an opportunity to experience arts projects and science. We did an amazing project with the Tropic Cinema in Key West. they partnered with 6 nonprofits by bringing the nonprofits together, having a place to meet. You know, they didn't have to meet in a hotel room, conference room. Some of the smaller nonprofits that don't have their own venues, they came to the Tropic, had their meetings, showed a film. You know, so the film was the art and brought people together. It was called the Spotlight Series. We helped with funds to get those films so that the nonprofits were benefiting. It helped the Tropic by bringing new people to the theater and not just staying at home streaming. It helped the nonprofits have a place and an activity. Very successful. So those are just 2 examples, but we've done great programs over the years. Visual arts, music, performing, theater programming. So take a look at that if you've got a big project in mind. And then we have Artisan Schools, which funds a teaching artist to collaborate with a classroom teacher to enhance learning with an art project. So, you know, I don't know, archaeology, Mel Fisher Maritime Museum brought great methodology to, you know, social studies programs with 4th graders. Fantastic, you know, teaching artists going in there, hands-on project rather than just looking up at the blackboard or whiteboard, I guess they call it now, and and books, right? And iPads, they had real hands-on experience doing an archaeology project. It was fantastic. And then, of course, we've got the special project grant, which is to support an artist and sometimes an arts organization uh, to have a new creative process, a new project, working with new materials, trying out something new. And all we require is that the project is, you know, kind of well thought out, but doesn't have to be lots of bells and whistles, but just something that an artist wants to try. And that just has to have a beginning, middle, and end. It's not to help, you know, pay the phone bill. It's for a specific project.
Okay. Yeah,
Recording a song, you know, frames for a new visual arts project so they could apply for an exhibit. You know, lots of different things.
yeah, so up to $2,000 available for that. All 3 of those Arts Council grant opportunities have the links on the website, as mentioned, at keysarts.com. And the deadline for all 3 of those that Liz just explained are, well, it is June
30.
5 p.m. So
Yes.
get them in. Absolutely. Liz
And they're
Young,
pretty easy. You fill in the blanks. I always tell people, if you can buy a plane ticket online, you can fill out our application.
absolutely. And you are there to help as well, as mentioned.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
reach
Yeah.
out. And phone number, by the way, at Keys, Florida Keys Council of the Arts, 305-295-4369. It's Liz Young, Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts, with us. Well, Liz, I know you've got a busy Friday to get to and a lot of events coming up over the next couple of weeks. Is going to be a busy second half of the year. Is there anything else, though, that we should mention at this particular time?
Just, you know, mark your calendar. I know Keys Ticks out at Tennessee Williams Theater. They've got a great summer dance series. I just saw Lauren Thompson. She's producing the first Camp Bravo show. They're using the studio's theater. That's the 19th and 20th. These are the elementary school kids. They're doing Finding Nemo kids version. And then she'll be working with the middle and high school kids for the second round of Camp Bravo, and they're going to do Once on an Island, which is a beautiful show. So lots of summer kids things happening. Of course, great music at the William Weech. Um, uh, I just forgot, you know, Post, the American Legion
Oh, yeah,
Post
American Legion.
out
Yeah.
of Emma Street. Even though Larry Smith's out of town, they're going to keep it going on Mondays. Jazz Sundays at the Gardens. Some great shows, obviously, at the Key West Theater during the summer. The Tropic, you've got a couple more weeks of films. Then they'll have a little hiatus in July, but you know, lots happening. Oh, there's kids' movies too at the Tropic.
Oh, cool.
Wednesdays and Saturdays, they're doing a whole film series. I think Lady and the Tramp is this Sunday. So, you know, there's definitely things happening. Not the extreme schedule that we're used to during season, but still a lot going on. Of course, we'll have Hemingway Days to look forward to and talk about next time, but things
Excellent.
are happening.
They are. Well, congratulations also to your daughter. Will be attending
Yes.
Western PhD.
Yeah, you see my shirt,
I
Northwestern.
did. Yes, that was one of my top 2 picks for schools for myself as well. Great school. Absolutely.
It is
That's-
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, gorgeous, and then freezing in the winter, but all good.
It is true. Well, thank you so much for all that you do, Liz. Thanks for being here. To find out more, go to keysarts.com, and we will talk again soon.
Okay, thanks for having me. We'll talk in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.
That was great. Take care. It is Liz Young, Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts on Good Morning Keys. We return with more in just a moment.
Let's talk trash. I'm Taylor Conrath, and my family's been taking care of your family's trash for years. In fact, we've operated Marathon Garbage Service and kept the Middle Keys clean since my great-grandpa, John Conrath, founded the company in 1950. That's a lot of years talking trash and hauling trash. And these days, we take care of your family's recyclables in addition to commercial and residential waste removal. The Conrath family and our entire team of great employees takes pride in keeping our community clean, from the north end of the 7 Mile Bridge to Craig Key. Now it's my generation of Conraths working together with my grandfather and my dad to continue the tradition and commitment started in 1950 at Marathon Garbage Service. The Conrath family is always there for your family. If you need to talk trash, just call us at 305-743-5165. That's 305-743-5165. Or visit us at 4290 Overseas Highway in Marathon and online at marathongarbageservice.com.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold delicious ground coffee always brewing and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in-store with 24 hours advance notice. And enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in-store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. OldTownBakeryKeyWest.com.
Your home is your castle, your sanctuary. Rack Advanced Control brings together the electrical and smart technology that make your home comfortable, secure, and effortless to live in. Imagine music flowing seamlessly through every room, beautiful lighting that adjusts to your lifestyle, motorized shades, climate control, and energy management all working together automatically. From integrated audio and video systems to discrete security cameras and professional electrical services, Rack Advanced Control designs and installs technology that works in perfect harmony. Originally founded in California, Rack Advanced Control has over 20 years of experience serving the luxury residential market and was honored as a 2024 Lutron Excellence Award Integrator. Now with an office in Key West, Florida, Rack brings world-class smart home design and electrical expertise to the Florida Keys. Make your home smarter, safer, and more enjoyable to live in. Call 786-647-9647 or visit rackav.com. Rack Advanced Control. Intelligent luxury, expertly installed.
The voice of Monroe County, yours. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Well, we are at 83 degrees on our way to 89. Slight chance of a shower or a thunder shower today at 20%. Tonight, 10% chance of a shower, thunder shower, and a low of 81. For the weekend, 20% chance of rain each day and a high of 89. That's where it stands. We're going to say good morning to Carrie Baker. She's the executive director of the Key West Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Carrie.
Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
I am doing well. Thanks so much for being here. And also want to remind everyone that they can listen to and see the conversation with Carrie on Keys Living TV, Channel 27 locally from Key West to Marathon, also worldwide on Roku streaming and on a downloadable app for free, Keys Living TV at your favorite app store. So again, thank you for being here, Carrie. We've got a busy Friday here, and we had Pride just last week, but lots of events coming up, and I can certainly let you take the lead, but I want to make mention that the Key West Chamber of Commerce, always advocating for the business community and also following along an upcoming political race. To that end, the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce inviting the community to attend its Candidates Forum. That's coming up Tuesday, June 23rd at 5 p.m., Tennessee Williams Theater. So this is a great opportunity for the business community and the community at large to get to know where our local Key West candidates stand on various issues of concern, as well as to meet a number of candidates in a number of races.
Absolutely. So we doing it a little different this year. We've gone back and forth on this, and normally, as most of our members know, we do a small forum at our general membership meeting, which is difficult. It's only an hour. We felt that, you know what, this is really important election. We want to allow more time for it. So the chamber made arrangements to have the Tennessee Williams Theater from 5 to 8 on Tuesday, June the 23rd. All candidates that are running have been invited for the meet and greet, which will be from 5 to 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, we're going to move into the theater to do a forum with the candidates for the city commission race and the mayoral race. So I did put out an email several weeks back to our members asking them to submit questions and topics and things that they might like to have the candidates, you know, ask during this forum. So we've been compiling that. As you know, we are grateful that you're going to be the moderator of our event. So we've been having some meetings and trying to narrow down those questions, because a lot of questions came in, a lot of topics came in. So we are looking forward to, you know, being able to ask the candidates some questions, and our questions really pertain a little bit more to the business community, but as well as quality of life issues for our residents, because it is important to listen to both sides and try to find a balance for both.
Yes, we are certainly a big advocate of that stance, and it is Carrie Baker, Executive Director, Key West Chamber of Commerce, on Good Morning Keys. And the Key West Chamber of Commerce keeps our business community informed on a variety of issues, political issues and how they affect them, but also other issues such as hurricane preparedness and emergency preparedness. And you had mentioned the candidate forum typically had been done at the monthly meeting. Well, this time, the monthly meeting in June will be talking about emergency management, featuring Corey Swizzo, our Director of Emergency Management, and Holly Winhoven, I believe.
Yes, I was struggling with both the names, and I feel so bad because I hate to mispronounce people's names. So it just may be Corey and Holly to me, because I may struggle a little bit with the last names. But we are looking forward to having the Monroe County Emergency Management. Unfortunately, it is that time of the year. We don't like to use the H word, tropical occurrence season. Fortunately, it's overcast right now, but fingers crossed it's not going to look like it looked last Friday with weather. So, but we did think it was important to have them come in. There are some programs that are available for businesses for reentry, if you can provide essential services, and just kind of that overall preparation. But to talk a little bit about what the emergency management does here in Monroe County, I think it is important, because obviously they have to be trained and ready for all types of emergencies, not just, hurricanes and tropical occurrences. So it's a good opportunity. We're looking forward to having Corey and Holly come in, and it allows our members, an opportunity to ask questions as well.
Yes, well, that is true. And Blue Marlin Jewelry, another chamber member, is sponsoring that luncheon. So it should be well attended, and another great event for networking and educating oneself about various topics in our community that affect all of us. Also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Michael. I do apologize. I also just wanted to throw in there will also be recognizing 17 of our members that have reached the 4- and 5-star status for our education program. So for our Tom Sawyer 5-star program, that's 17 members that contributed quite a bit to our local school system, whether it was money for our scholarship, money for our education enrichment program. They've sponsored classrooms, they've mentored, which that in itself is a huge time commitment. They meet with their student once a week, and they also donated to our teacher recognition program. So I'm very happy to say that we have 17 businesses that we're going to recognize at that luncheon as well.
That is so important. And the Key West Chamber of Commerce is so involved with supporting our educational system and our school district as well. And teacher recognition is one way that is done. We talk a lot about how the teacher salaries are it's actually, I think, still the highest starting salary in the state, but it still struggles to keep up with the cost of living here in Monroe County. Any opportunity to give positive reinforcement and recognition to our teachers is always so helpful, and that is being done very actively by the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce. And I know that goes a long way towards making our teachers feel more appreciated.
Absolutely. I mean, anyone that's a working parent knows it's hard. So by the time you've worked all day, you get home, you have homework time. And we have to be honest to say our teachers have sometimes just as much time with our children when it comes to that as what we do. We do homework and you want to do activities, but some of their first interaction and learning comes from their teachers. So if there's a way that we can simply say thank you to them, I think that's great, because most teachers don't just stop when the school bell rings. They're there after hours. They're working on the weekends. They're looking at fun things that they can do. And sometimes those things come out of their pockets. So I definitely, say thank yous and kudos to all of our teachers and everyone that's in education, because they really do a lot and they make sacrifice for our children.
Yes, Carrie Baker, Executive Director, Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce on Good Morning Keys. And also congratulations to all of the graduates in Monroe County. And the Key West had a strong class of graduates. And again, thank you to the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce for the scholarships that they provide to help make sure that those further educational opportunities are available to those who deserve them.
Absolutely. We were very lucky to award our big scholarship, our HR 100 Charlie Tapino and Orsolina Memorial Scholarship, to a lovely young gentleman, Gabriel Varela, who's going off to UCF. He's already actually left. So we're looking forward. He stopped by to see me and sent me a really nice letter that we get to share with our members. But it really, the gratitude and appreciation from not only the recipient, but their parents usually as well. Sometimes, these scholarships are life-changing because it is hard. It's not just the tuition, as we know, it's a whole nother set of living expenses. And, let's face it, in Key West, it's such a small community. We all know everybody. And then these kids go off to the big world and they go into major cities most of the time. And just that adjustment in itself can be a lot for a student coming from a little small island.
Yes, that is true. Well, and again, I wanted to also pivot to yet another initiative of the Key West Chamber of Commerce, and there are several, but in partnership with the city of Key West, it is Keep Key West Beautiful Partnership, honoring pride, care, and community spirit, recognizing those businesses that do so much to keep our community beautiful.
Absolutely. We look forward to those awards. Not only do we recognize businesses, but we also recognize employees. So the program works from basically, I always get confused, west of White Street. So basically I think it's west. I always want to say north and south, but it's really not north and south.
Yes,
so west of White Street. So any of the businesses within the downtown corridor, if you see that small business and they go above and beyond, they're always out there. Their foliage is kept, they're sweeping, the building's painted, the fence is in great shape, and they provide just that true customer experience, that would be an example of who we'd want you to nominate, which you can go straight to our website. It's right on our homepage. And again, if you know an employee that's in the service industry, hospitality, could be a banking professional, a regular professional in that area that goes above and beyond and leads by example, those are the people that we're looking for. And it really does give me great pleasure to be able to pop in and let them know that they've been our recipient. They get introduced and they're recognized by the city commission and the mayor at the commission meeting, as well as the chamber. And I really have just been met with tons of gratitude. It means a lot to people just to, be noticed. And it really is, small business is what makes our community so great. There's so many wonderful businesses in our area.
Well, and it is indeed the mission of the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce to serve its members and support a viable economy for Key West. And you do that in so many ways. You can find out more at keywestchamber.org. There's always new members coming into the chamber, and for good reasons. So many different resources and opportunities available to member businesses, small groups, and ability to gain further knowledge, whether it be in workshops or 12 at 12 luncheons or breakfasts, which I forget the name of the breakfast here currently. There's the
business before hours. I had to think about it as well.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Or the business after hours, the general membership luncheons, etc. There's so many ways to get involved, to benefit as a member business, and utilize the resources available for through the Key West Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. We had our business after hours last night with Dr. Liz at Excel Chiropractic. It was great. I think we had about 50, 55 members
Wow.
in her little spot. So it was good for everyone to come out. Great fellowship. Everyone was able to network and learn more about one another. So that was great. And I know you've got to run because there's probably someone after me, but I want to touch on one more thing.
Yes.
We do have a seminar coming up that I'm about to put out in the next couple of days. It's not till August, but this customer service seminar is a little bit different. We're tying a little different twist on this one. It's being facilitated by Elisa Levy. This one is titled Grace Under Pressure, Deliver Exceptional Service When It Matters Most. And what this is about is customer service with the spin of how do you keep your staff engaged when it's slow? How do you keep your staff engaged and positive when times are tough? As we know, it's June. People have seen a drop off a little earlier than what was expected. We always got our fingers crossed that we're going to have a strong summer, but sometimes we do hit those lull moments. And how do you keep your staff engaged and positive when maybe the sales aren't happening? Sometimes you have difficult situations. How do you communicate professionally under pressure? And even sometimes this is important because you may have that longtime employee that just needs to be re-energized. We get into that routine of doing things day over end. And let's face it, when sales are slow and you still have to pay rent and you're trying to stay positive, those are the true pressures that some of our employees face. And it's a scary pressure. So we thought this would be a good topic and a great time to do it over the summer. Businesses are a little slower, so they'd be able to send their employees and spare some staff to be able to do this. Elisa always does a really great job. So we are looking forward to this. So our seminars are obviously open to our members, but we do allow non-members to attend those as well. So you should find that information on our website, and I'll also be sending out information to our members in the next couple of days.
Perfect. Thank you, Carrie. Yet another example of the resources available through the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce. Again, keywestchamber.org to find out more. And I will also extend the courtesy to ask if there's anything else we missed talking about. I appreciate you bringing up that important topic, however.
No, we're doing really good. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, Michael, to you, thank you so much for your time that you're giving to the Chamber for our Candidates Forum. I certainly appreciate it. Our members appreciate it. And to everyone listening, residents, businesses, and anyone that's just interested, we really look forward to seeing you on June 23rd. It is free and open to the public. There's plenty of parking. Tennessee Williams Theater, Tuesday, June 23rd from 5 to 8.
Well, it's always my honor. I hope you know that to do
I do, and we appreciate you.
Anything I can do to help, absolutely. And we appreciate you, Carrie. Thanks for all that you do, and we will talk soon.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye now. Carrie Baker, Executive Director, Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce. We'll say that. keywestchamber.org is where you find out more. And this is Keys Talk 96.9 1025, the talk of the Keys. We return in a moment.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Historic Pepe's Cafe in Key West, founded in 1909, still does things the old way. Diachronic, if you will. How about fresh squeezed juices? Think how good that margarita or Greyhound will taste. Blue Point oysters shucked to order because oysters work better that way. Fresh breads and outstanding specials in an eatery that opened the same year Ole Evinrude invented the first outboard motor. And get a jump on someone's birthday and check out our retail offerings for some great gift ideas. Pepe's Cafe, Old Town Key West, of course.
Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And thank you, AJ. Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. We're going to bring in Marta from the American Red Cross, Miami-Dade and Florida Keys. Good morning to you, Marta.
Hello, good morning. Nice to talking to you again.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So we are in, well, it's becoming hotter and hotter. We're at June 12th already, and temperatures continue to rise. American Red Cross is always there to help in the event of an emergency, but also wanted to talk about some of the conditions that people may be experiencing when it's not even an emergency, but when it's just plain old summer. And how about heat safety? Let's talk about that.
Yes, we cannot forget that because we're in this beautiful Florida Keys and it is hot and sunny outside, that we have to watch ourselves and we have to practice heat safety.
Okay. So, yeah, that is something that we should know about. Give us some details as to what heat safety entails.
Well, the American Red Cross, we recommend for you to take 3 steps. It is very important to stay hydrated. Drink a cup of water every 20 minutes. Even if you're not thirsty, just remember that water. Please stay cool. Try to spend as much time as you can in an air-conditioned place. Maybe it's not your apartment. Maybe you can go to the mall. Maybe you can go to the library. Just spend some time inside air-conditioned.
And when you say a cup of water, like a full cup, like 8 ounces
Yes.
kind of thing?
Yes.
Every
Drinking
hour?
a cup of water, every 20 minutes.
20 minutes, excuse me. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Even if you're not thirsty. Actually, water is good for you regardless, either if it's hot or not hot outside. It's a wonderful thing.
Good. Okay.
It's always important. Oh, sorry.
No, please continue.
Make sure you stay connected with your friends, with your family. Make sure you ask for help if you're having feeling overheated. And please make sure your pets, our lovely animals, have access to fresh water and to shade.
Those are 3 points that are very important to continue to remember during these hot summer days. We are in June, and the American Red Cross reminds you to practice heat safety. Marta is speaking to us from the American Red Cross South Florida region of Greater Miami and the Keys. So that heat can really sneak up on people pretty quickly, and they can get heat exhaustion and even heat stroke very quickly.
Yes, and heat cramps. Heat cramps is an early sign. You know, if you're like breathing heavily and you're sweating and you're having some kind of muscle pain, you got to stop what you're doing. Make sure you start resting, maybe under a palm tree. Take advantage of our lovely Florida Keys and make sure, again, that you're drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, water is really probably the most important part about it as well. So Red Cross does offer a number of different classes in training and certification, first aid, CPR, and the like, to help make sure that people are taken care of as far as heat maladies or others.
Yes, we are. There's a lot of information for lots of different programs on our website. Just check the redcross.org.
Yes, and volunteer opportunities as well, whether it's
Absolutely.
Preparing for even a hurricane or other eventualities, or just ongoing missions of the American Red Cross always relies on volunteers.
Yes. You can also follow us on our social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We're on X. We're on YouTube at SFL Red Cross. That way you can get updated about everything that's happening in the Red Cross. You can hear about volunteer opportunities. You can hear about different classes. And there's a lot of really magnificent videos created by our communications team. So follow us at SFL Red Cross.
Absolutely. The American Red Cross of South Florida, Miami, and the Florida Keys prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. So donations are also always welcomed and absolutely needed.
Yes.
Yep. So you can do that at the website as well. So do please participate and help. But heat safety, very important. We've been talking about the temperature rising. We're going to be into around the 90-degree mark over this weekend. The humidity makes it feel like even hotter. And that number one watchword is hydration.
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Important. Yes.
Yes. Well, Marta, thank you so much for this information. It's very helpful, very timely. Anything else, though, that we should mention regarding the American Red Cross?
Well, right now we're concerned about the heat, that people really make sure that they're taking care of themselves. They're watching for heat cramps, for heat exhaustion, for heat stroke. If it gets that bad, please just take action and call 911.
Yes.
And that's it. Join our Red Cross. We're always looking for volunteers.
And always looking for blood donations as well. So keep that in mind. That need continues also.
Yes, remember in South Florida, if you're going to do blood donation, you got to contact One Blood.
One Blood? Okay.
Yes.
And that is One Blood. That's the phone number or?
No, we work together with One Blood.
One Blood,
here
got it.
In South Florida.
Okay.
They do blood donations.
Got
yes.
it. Okay. Well, we will do that as well. So thank you so much, Marta, for being here. You have a wonderful weekend and take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you. Is Marta with us from the American Red Cross, Miami, and Florida Keys region on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. So there's a lot of news to get to, and that's going to be coming up here pretty quickly. And let's see. Also, another quick note to make, if I can find my information here in time. But there are a number of candidate forums coming up. We were talking with Carrie Baker from the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce about the candidate forum coming up on the 23rd at Tennessee Williams Theater. Also, Florida Keys Debate 2026 is happening on the 24th, also at Tennessee Williams Theater. That is hosted by, let's see, it is Strong Community, Bright Future, Your Voice, Florida Keys to the Future is hosting that, Shaping the Future of the Florida Keys. Keys Debate 2026. That is on the 24th, starting at 4:30 at Tennessee Williams Theater. Meet the candidates, and there will be a debate session during that evening. So more details on that to follow as well. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Getting set for Glenn Beck coming your way in just a few moments, followed by Clay and Buck at noon. Sean Hannity at 3, 5 o'clock is Drew Steele, Florida's Voice. 6 o'clock, Mark Levin, Jesse Kelly at 9, Coast to Coast AM overnight. AUC with Dr. B tomorrow at 9 a.m. Breaking news as soon as it happens. Local, state, national news every half hour. Weather around the clock. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys.